Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining our show. Today, as you can see by the title of this video, we're tackling a topic that's on a lot of your minds, and it's come with a lot of mixed emotions, and that's AI and HR. Depending on who you ask, AI is either the future of HR or something that feels a little risky, a little uncomfortable, maybe. Concerns around the bias or errors or losing control are all very real and understandable, and they deserve a thoughtful conversation and not just the hype that we see on LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it. So to help break all of this down, I'm joined with Jessica Winder, who's a CPO at Winder Law Firm, who's going to help me debunk some of these myths that we're seeing in the HR industry. Jessica, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about this one. This one is a spicy topic.
Yeah, this is one that a lot of people are going to be tuning into to understand, like, what is that really myth? How can we bust this myth? That's what we're here to talk about today. But before we get into myth number one, I want to start off in this direction. When HR leaders just hear the phrase AI and HR, there's a lot of thoughts that go around this. What are the most common concerns you see like come up, and why do you think that these fears or concerns persist?
So when I talk to my HR peers, a lot of the time what comes up is a feeling of one, I think of isolation, and then two, of getting away from the personal side of HR. And then, the age old, like, oh, AI is going to take all of my job and all of those things, which we can debunk that all day long. And I normally laugh when people say that and say, please do, like, come take it. If you think you can have it, take it. But the flip side of that is it's fear of the unknown. I really think that's all it is. Like, change is hard for people. It's fear of what's next, what's new. We don't know what the working world is going to look like in the next 10 years. We have no clue. It will change, but we don't know what that's going to look like. And so that is very scary for people. And I think I give people grace that are fearful. But I would say, let's change our mindset to how can this benefit me instead of what can this take away from me?
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity that has emerged within the last couple of years. And Jessica, you hinted at the first myth already. So
Mhm.
let's revisit this. The first myth we want to talk about is AI will replace HR. This is probably
Mhm.
one of the biggest myths out there.
Yeah.
Just in that term, in that phrase, why is that such an oversimplification of the work that HR actually does?
Well, I think this comes down to everybody thinks that they could do HR.
Mm.
And so that is a different topic for a different day, but everyone thinks that, like, oh, I took a class in college and I know how to do this. I could figure it out. Whereas nobody thinks that they can do the finances job or anybody else's job, but they all think that they can do HR. So that's neither here nor there. But I think that gets to the root of that feeling of, like, I could do it myself. And so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future of your job. And I also want to give a caveat that AI has had a tremendous impact on the recruiting side of HR. And that's where a lot of people feel like, oh, it's just going to take all of the recruiters' jobs. But they're not thinking about, like, the HR business partners or the impact to the business when it comes to leave management or all of those things. So those are two very different things that I want us to distinguish, because I do think it's going to have more of an impact on, like, the HR business partner role, but it has already had an impact on the recruitment side of the role. And with great companies, I think automating things that can make things more personal, that's going to come up as well.
But another area that people are like growing some concerns or hesitancies around is that AI can create bias. This is myth number
Hmm.
two. How do you think about the risk and bias and then AI like supported decisions compared to like if someone fully manually, had an HR process?
So manual versus AI, I definitely think there's a through line through it all. It's what you put in is what you get out. So if you put in junk to AI, you're going to get out junk. If you put in junk and you're manually managing it, it's going to still be junk. So I definitely think that's something to distinguish, is like, how are you using the data? And AI is only going to give you and make you feel secure if you're using it the right way. Whereas if you're doing it manually, it's more time. So it's like, what's more important to you? Is it you want the time back so that you can use it to be more personable with your employees, or you want to manually hold on to something just out of principle?
Mm.
And that's what I've seen a lot is it's just the principle of it all. Like I'm just going to be against AI. And if you're doing that, you're behind.
Mhm. Yeah, people are going to be accelerating
Yeah,
faster than you can imagine. And people are accelerating faster than ever with this
for
tool,
sure.
especially
Mhm.
because, and what we talked about, Jessica, already and in other conversations, is that AI is an accelerative tool. It helps you
Absolutely.
to automate a lot of processes. And there's also some fear associated with that because of how
Mhm.
fast you can move, that automation introduces more errors. And this is the
Mhm.
third myth. From your experience being a CPO, how does AI actually impact accuracy and improve accuracy?
Mhm.
Helps reduce risk in HR workflows.
I have seen it be so helpful when it comes to risk management because I have put into the system, these are the risks that I think, what are the risks that I'm not seeing? Or if I looked at this a different way. So using it to poke holes in your own theories. So not being afraid to say, like, this is what I thought I was going to get out of it, but this is actually what I want you to help me through. So not having it just say, you're so wonderful, you're so great, your ideas are so amazing, even though we love to hear that, but not having it just be your cheerleader, but having it poke holes in things helps you be more accurate because you're looking at it from all sides. So, one of my tricks is I will ask it if I was a board member, if I was a CEO, how would I be looking at this data? Because I have been trained to look at things from an HR standpoint, not a CEO standpoint. So, using the data to make me more accurate. So, yes, the like move fast and break things, I think that's where that mentality comes from. But you can also move fast and be accurate. So I want that to be clear as well.
And AI certainly helps with that.
Yeah.
In, like you said, what you put in is what you're going to get out. So
Mhm.
if you put in good information, it's going to help you to become more accurate.
Exactly.
And one of the key themes, Jessica, that you hinted at here is that through everything, the human is still in the
Mhm.
driver's seat and making sure that they're still calling all the shots, that they're making all
Absolutely.
of the decisions. That's still a big part of this. Can you explain like the human checkpoint concept and why it matters so much within AI adoption?
Absolutely. So with my team, I we are adamant that we use AI to help us, but all final decisions, anything that has to do with our employees, with the policy, we make the final decision. We think of AI as a co-pilot, and I know that's one of the AI's names, but like truly, this is a coworker, a co-pilot. It's here to help me, but I will make the final decision based on my level of expertise and what I know about the people that are working here. Because to your earlier point, I can put in all the data about my employees, but I can't tell you people's personality and like all of those nuances that how they're going to react to change. And so using it, changing your mind frame of this is something that is telling you what to do to this is something that is helping to guide you changes the narrative, I believe, so much. And also pushes you forward because then you can have really clear conversations. So, with my leadership team, we have meetings where we ask each other, okay, what is your AI telling you? And then I will compare what my AI is telling me. And we will then move forward based on that information because this person has trained their AI to think like them if I'm talking to the finance team or if I'm talking to the head of operations, whereas my AI is trained to think like HR. So think about it in that way of how are you using all of these bots as a team? So just like you have a people team, you have almost like a bot team as well.
I've never thought of it like that. That
Yeah.
is really fascinating. And definitely someone watching this is going to take it and see if they can implement it within their
Hmm.
team because it helps them in so many different ways, Jessica. And honestly, a lot of this comes back to this idea of control and ownership.
Absolutely.
Tying this into the human checkpoint, like how does this checkpoint model reinforce HR's authority rather than reduce it?
Yeah. I will never give my authority away to another person or to an AI bot.
Mhm.
So I say that with an example being in HR, when we think about like leave management, sometimes people feel very adamant that they have to keep it all close to the chest. They have to have their own spreadsheet. They're not giving anybody access. Nobody needs to know all these things. And I think that is the wrong way to go about it because you could be more efficient and more human focused if you can have those conversations with people and the system is automating. The system is being the person that's helping you make those checkpoints. So, like, Instead of you remembering in 30 days that you should check in with this person on leave, are you remembering that this document is due depending on the state that they're in? These are things that you should not be using your brain power for. It can be automated, and you can be more human with the person that is on leave, where they feel like not only are you on top of it because you have reminders, but you also believe in them as a human and you are caring about their experience.
Totally. And this control aspect of being able to still make the decisions and call the
Mhm.
shots, but still get great counsel and advice from these types of tools is super helpful. And essentially, like you could see it as like guardrails, if you
Mhm.
will. Like, hey, look, here's where I have complete ownership. Here's where I make the decisions. And this is where AI helps me to give me
Definitely.
more informed information and data to help me to make better decisions for my team, especially when it comes to leave of absence in that space too.
Mhm.
Where should HR draw a clear line when it comes to AI? And
Mhm.
where should human oversight like always remain a non-negotiable?
I always think about this in final decisions that are going to have a human impact. So, for example, when we think about hiring, so I'll just use that as an example. No matter what, before someone is quote unquote released from the process or they are not going to get the job, a human has to look at that information because mistakes can be made, to our earlier point. So, I think the same thing when it comes to like leave of absence. Before something is approved or not approved, whether we're going to move forward or we're going to ask this person they need to come back at this time, this date, a human needs to look at those things. So any final decision, yeah, on my team, and I suggest this for other people, will never be made by the AI bot. It is a suggestion. They can give me suggestions based on location and data that I've given it, but the final decision is always from me. And because at the end of the day, if something happens and we end up having to go to court, I can't say, well, like my AI bot told me this. Like, I haven't seen that stand up in court yet. Maybe one day it will, but like that is not the case. And so I have to take ownership as I am the leader. This is on me.
And one area, this is tying into the fifth myth that we have,
Mhm.
is HR plays a very pivotal role within companies, especially around culture. And one of the areas and myths around AI is that AI erodes culture or makes it colder or
Mhm.
more transactional. Why is that belief often backwards in practice?
Mhm.
Why is it often opposite?
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. And actually, as you said that, I'm like, no, I feel like that it's like a myth that came from people that just don't like it. I feel like they're just like, this is making everyone different. I don't agree with that because I actually have had more conversations with people and had more time to be human to human, face to face, take people out to dinner, take people out to lunch, all these things because I wasn't doing the admin side of the work. So AI like took the things that I actually didn't want to do, let's be clear, and I'm honestly just not good at. It doesn't bring me joy. Like these things that are like managing things when it comes to like time management and like remembering to track things, that does not bring me joy. Talking to a human and getting in front of them and having a personal relationship brings me joy. So that's the difference. And so when you say like it becomes transactional, I see it becoming transactional when it becomes to admin work, not when it comes to actual HR things that people actually want to have a conversation about.
Yeah, things that drive the culture.
Yeah.
It's not affecting that.
Mm.
Kind of wrap up this conversation. As HR leaders think about adopting AI tools, it's inevitable over the next few years or maybe even
Mhm.
sooner. What's one thing that you want them to keep top of mind?
I say this with kindness, but the genie is out of the box. It's not going back in. So if you are still resistant, I strongly, strongly encourage you to rethink that stance, one. And two, just start somewhere. So even if you started with how can my team or how can I, because I know a lot of times I start with myself. Like if I'm going to experiment, I'm going to experiment on myself first. So I will say, how can I be more effective? How can I be more efficient? Even I've even asked AI to help me with my leadership skills and how I talk to people. So start with yourself and then see how you can use that same data with your team. So if you do nothing else, start now. If not, you're going to look back 5 years from now and be like, I am so behind. And everyone else has been trained on how to build a bot, how to build an assistant, how to make it sound like them. And I actually, like, going on a little bit of a rogue, but I actually think the future is people being hired for what they have and also their bots. So being hired with, this is the bot that I built that can help this company do XYZ along with me. So you're not only going to hire me, but you're going to hire me and my bot. So
Yeah.
that's what I think is coming.
That's and who knows what the future is going to bring when it
Yeah.
comes to AI. That can certainly be the case.